a very simple topic called waves. Whatever which level you may be on, this topic is just for you. Let me first begin by defining waves. A wave is a disturbance which travels through a medium and transfer energy from one point to another without causing any permanent displacement of the medium itself. Examples of waves: we have the water waves, we have the sound waves, we have the light waves, and we have many other waves. So let me show you some of the images of the waves. That is the way the water has moved. That is how a wave moves. So, those are the water waves. You can see the images. That is how the water waves are formed. So we are now looking at the light waves. Those are the light waves. The way you're seeing them, that is how they are formed. We continue to the sound waves. Those who have never seen the sound waves, that is how they appear. So we continue on. When we look at the classification and general properties of the waves altogether, we can remind ourselves, what is a wave? We said it is just a periodic disturbance which travels from, I beg your pardon, it is the periodic disturbance which travels with different velocity through a medium and remain unchanged in type as it travels. When they say it remains unchanged, that means there is no movement of matter as a whole. And there is another definition. There are many definitions of waves. Okay, we just continue and look at this. Okay, now we are looking at the real classification of waves. When they tell you to classify the waves, I beg your pardon, let me just go back a little bit. We look at the classification of waves. We have the mechanical waves and we have the electromagnetic waves. Those are the two classifications of waves, and they are the genuine ones. Now, when we define just mechanical waves, they are produced by a vibrating body. They are transmitted by particles of the medium vibrating to and fro. Or you can even say, are waves that vibrate, I beg your pardon, are waves that are vibrations in matter. They occur as a result of vibration. There is transfer of energy through the matter. Another thing they talk about mechanical waves, they require a material for transmission, or they require a material medium for propagation, for their propagation. Examples. We have the water waves, we have the sound waves, we have the waves on a stretched string, we have waves of vibrating springs. You know what a spring is. 2, let us go to the electromagnetic waves. These ones are produced by a disturbance in form of varying electric or magnetic fields. You all know what magnetic and electric fields are. I will not explain that. We continue and look at their properties. They are waves that do not require a material for transmission. Remember what we saw about the mechanical one. Electromagnetic waves travel in vacuum. Now let us look at examples. We have the radio waves, we have the infrared waves, we have the light waves, we have the ultraviolet waves, we have the X-rays, we have the gamma rays. What can I mention? etc. Now, I'm going to pose a question for my students who are viewing this video, whether on my YouTube channel, whether it has been just sent to you. I'm posing a question. What is the difference? Or can you give me just around 3 differences between mechanical waves and electromagnetic waves? I repeat, what is the difference between mechanical waves and electromagnetic waves? Just from what I've given, you can get those differences. Those questions are common. So, Down here is simple harmonic. The displacement in a given time varies with distance from the source as shown below. Let us continue and see. When we look at wave motion, when a wave is set up on the medium, the particles of the medium from about a mean position as the wave passes, the vibrations are passed from one point to the next one until the final destination. I think that is very simple. They are saying when you're setting up a wave. Is that okay? We all know that when you set up a wave, even when you see them on the water, is that okay? They are just moving and dying away. That is what we are talking about. The final destination is until they die away. Let us continue and look at the generation and propagation of mechanical waves. Waves are generated when particles of a transmitting medium at any point are disturbed and start vibrating. That is what I've talked about. When you touch the water, you produce the waves, but as time goes on, they die away. That is what we're talking about. As they vibrate, they cause the neighboring particles to vibrate in turn, hence causing the vibrations to continue from the source to the other regions in the transmitting medium. The disturbance thus spreads the source towards, I beg your pardon, the disturbance thus spreads the source outwards and it constitutes the wave. Mixing colored filters and pigments. Okay, I'm going to just explain that now. I've told you, when they talk about, maybe here I'll only explain the colored filters and pigments. You know, when you talk about pigment, a pigment is just the natural coloring matter of an animal, a plant tissue. When you look at me, I'm black. That means I have a black pigment. That is what we're talking about. Then when we talk about the colored filters, it is just a sheet of transparent material that modifies a light beam by selection of absorption of some colors in relation to the others. That is how you can define filters. So when we continue, now look at this. We are looking at the propagation and generation of mechanical waves. We are using this red box. Are we together? This is what we are using. So as you can see this, you're seeing the yellow filter, cyan filter, and then the screen, and then the red box. That is what I'm going to explain in the next slide. Okay. Now, we're saying when a yellow filter and cyan filter are placed at some distance from a red box such that half of their proportions overlap. You saw it earlier. That is what we have. That one. You see where the yellow filter is, the cyan filter is, and the red box. Okay. What happens? This is the observation. Green light is seen where the white light passes through both filters. Is that okay? On the screen, what are we going to observe? Are we together? Now, what is the explanation for that? For the overlap of the yellow and the cyan filters absorb the red light and transmit green and blue. But the yellow filter absorbs blue light and transmit green and red, which is absorbed by cyan filter, and so only green light is transmitted. I think this is simple to see. The cyan filter is absorbing the red and transmitting the green and blue. Is that okay? Whereas the yellow filter is absorbing the blue and transmitting the green and red. Is that okay? So, the blue that has been transmitted by the cyan is absorbed by the yellow filter. Is that okay? And then the red that has been produced by the yellow filter is being absorbed by the cyan filter. I hope you can just see those two things. I said the cyan filter is going to absorb the blue light, which has been produced by the yellow filter. Then, remember the cyan produced green and blue, but remember the yellow filter absorbs blue. So the L filter will absorb the blue. We shall end up with one color, that is
index for the different colors of white light. Let's continue. Relationship between speed, wavelength, and frequency. Speed is abbreviated by V, wavelength is abbreviated by lambda, and frequency is abbreviated by small f. Therefore, Ft is equal to, into brackets, n over t multiplied with t over n, which is equal to 1. Since f is equal to n over t and t is equal to t over n, I'm going to explain this. When they talk about frequency, just know these are the number of cycles made in 1 second. Is that okay? Or made in a specified period of time. That's why we have n over t. N, which is the number of cycles, divided by the time. Then when we go to t, which is capital, and that is the period, it is the time taken for a wave to complete n cycles, or the time taken for a wave to complete a cycle. That is why we have t over n. Therefore, Ft will give us a 1 because the n will cancel out and the t will cancel out. So you have 1 over 1, which is equal to a 1. Therefore, when I get Ft being equal to 1, if I make f the subject, I'll end up with f being equal to 1 over t. That is the relationship between the V, lambda, and f. Is that okay? Now, they continue and say, if a wave of wavelength, which is lambda, completes n cycles in time t, then the frequency f is given by, remember you have each cycle of a wavelength, which is equal to lambda. The total distance covered, is that okay? In n cycles is always equal to, you get the number of cycles times the wavelength. So when we go to speed, V is equal to distance over time. We know that speed is equal to distance over time. Therefore, what are we going to have? We shall have the distance, which we said you get the number of cycles multiplied with the wavelength divided by the time. When I pull out the lambda, I remain with n over t into brackets multiplied by lambda. But remember, when you move up or when you look up, you see that we have n over t being equal to f. Is that okay? Let's continue and see what we have. If a wave covers a distance of lambda, I beg your pardon, if a wave covers a distance, lambda, the wavelength, is that okay? Now, then the time taken is t, that is the period. Hence, the speed is given by, remember we say, speed is equal to distance over the time. Is that okay? And here they have told us that the distance covered is lambda. Is that okay? And it is covered in a time, which is the period. So we shall have V is equal to lambda over the t. Is that okay? When I pull out the lambda, I remain in bracket with 1 over t multiplied with the lambda. Is that okay? But we all know that from Ft being equal to 1, we can make f the subject or we can make t the subject. So 1 over t will be always equal to f. Therefore, we end or we conclude by saying V is equal to f lambda. Speed is equal to the frequency times the wavelength. That is what we have. For today, I ask that we can stop here and start from there next time. Stay home, stay safe. There are echoes in this video, but please just bear. We are working on this. Remember to follow me on my Facebook. You can always get the link to the videos, but you can always view them on my YouTube. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and view all these lessons. It is going to help you in this lockdown. It is going to help you so much to push on. Thank you. Thank you so much.
my students and my friends on Facebook, and any other student, even when I'm not your teacher at your school, but you're at home, you're not studying, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click on the bell so that you get the notifications when I put the messages. The name is Kavanja Edward Governor. That is the name you should type in the YouTube to watch my videos so that you learn from these videos. Follow me on my Facebook, Kavanja Edward Governor, still the same name. Follow me on my Twitter. Follow me on my Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. Follow me on all my social media handles so that you can get the links to the videos, because you may not be having the link to the videos, but when you go to Facebook, I always put the link there. Twitter, I'll put the link there. Instagram, I'll put the link there, and TikTok. I always post those videos and links. So you always follow, stay home, stay safe, but remember, we need to process academically. In the name of Jesus, I pray for you when you're at home. Please watch these videos. They are so good and educational. Thank you so much.